Als je dit in het Nederlands wil uitgelegd hebben, dan moet je een eerdere knettervlog bekijken. Iets van nummer 30 of 31 of 33 of something like that. But yeah, I will show you how I will put the Morini CDI and ignition stuff on a ditech wiring loom. This is an original ditech wiring loom. All the cockpit pieces and stuff can stay the same. Basically, there's a diagnosing connector here, and there's an injection light for checking the error codes, but that stuff can stay on. You can ignore it, and all these injection parts, they can come off. You will need plugs to the pickup and the stators for the power, and you will need a connector with power to the CDI, so that will be coming from somewhere too. But what you basically need is a plug like this. I already have like an old wiring loom I once tried something with similar, but this is a 6-pin plug, but you need 5 of them because it goes into the CDI, and next to the CDI you need the stator, the ignition coil with the spark plug lead and stuff. But looking into that plug over here, you got the 2 connectors that go to the pickup. You got the 1 pin that goes to the earth connection. This is the switch power to the CDI, and this is the power to the ignition coil. And also you need to have a earth connection on the ignition coil itself. Usually I put it on the blue CDI, similar, on the same wiring, and then ground it to the block, to the engine block, for instance over here. Now this block, in a previous video somewhere I made this ignition. It's a ditech ignition and it has the ditech plugs, but as you can see over here I ground off all the stuff that is used on ditech, because there's normally all these things on here for a rev counter, but now it's usable for a normal CDI. So I will strip everything from the injection stuff and I will fix this. So we have a wiring loom to test this Morini engine. So yeah, I took off a bunch of parts from the wiring loom. Those are all the injection parts. This you can just take off. You see over there. I'm going to plug this off with crimping stuff. But what is important, if you take the pickup, the wiring from the pickup normally goes to the ECU. That's that connector over there. You have to keep these 2 wires because you want to put these 2 wires on the CDI. If you see the plug, these 2 wires will go onto here, so you have the connector straight to the pickup on the ignition coil, on the stator I mean, and this goes to the earth connection. That is the switched power, and then you have the long one which goes to the ignition coil, and then you have to add another earth connector on the other side on the ignition coil. Don't look at these colors because they are not correct. These are the original colors. You should keep this blue for the earth connection to the block. It's also within there, but for the CDI and the ignition coil I will use this blue wire for the ground, which came from the ECU plug. And the red and black wires is what you need for the switch power to the CDI, and I'm going to probably keep a couple of these wires just like here also for maybe later on to put on an electric choke or some other accessory. So this is all the wiring done. I got the plug to the CDI, and it comes with 2 wires to go to the ignition coil. I will put the spark plug lead and stuff on later, and I also put in a long extra set of wire with a connector for the electric choke. And now I can just put a ignition stator coil in the pickup. I can just wire into the harness like this originally. I try to refurbish this piece as much as possible. Previously I used it and it sparked over here instead of over there, but I try to isolate it as much as possible. This is also a broken tab, but yeah, trying to go with it. Quickly put up the wiring loom onto the frame. Got a battery in there. I can connect these to the battery. These can go to the ignition coil. I have a wire that can go all the way to the electric choke. These are the wires from the block to the ignition. From the ignition, you can go onto these two. It's all original. And the earth wire I put on the frame over there, and I will take this piece, I will mount it somewhere right here. For now I have mounted the CDI on this side. This is where the plug ends up. Normally when it's on a Morini scooter, it's about here somewhere under the covers as well. So yeah, ignition wired up, CDI is in there. I got the choke cable to the carb. I got the ignition coil wired up. Battery is in there. And the main ground to the block. And this is the plug that needs to be shorted to get the entire system to go on, basically, because this is normally where the ignition switch is. So now I basically have a plug like this. It's also from a ignition switch, and then just shorted, that I can put on there to put on the system. And I have a spark plug on there. So if I am correct, if I put it on ignition, I should have spark. So it's plugged in. So we basically have the system on right now. There's the spark plug, and if I'd done everything right, we have spark. Have a look at my beautiful wiring mess. But to show you, this is the stator that I took off all these knobs, and I put in one for timing for the ignition, like a basic Morini. So this is a ditech stator that is tuned to be a Morini stator with the Morini CDI and ignition coil. I think this is the original Morini carburetor. It's a Cayenne, and a Morini carburetor intake also. This is one with the carburetor bolted on. It's not really my favorite. So now we need to sort brakes, fuel, exhaust. Here.